Hey everybody! Surprise! I am live streaming. I just finished making a TikTok video about one of the top reasons why your tarot and oracle card readings aren't really that accurate. And it was such an amazing share that I wanted to share it twice. So let's face it, guys. If you read oracle and tarot cards, whether you're dabbling or you've been reading for a long time, you know you wish they could be more accurate. You know that you get frustrated because you pull a card and you're like, oh, but what does this mean? And how does this relate to my question? Or how does this relate to my client? Right? It's like, oftentimes you feel like you are stabbing in the dark, even with the cards right in front of you. What do they mean, right? So I am going to explain to you how you can eliminate all of that junky confusion. And if you read, I'm laughing. Okay, I'll take it back a second. I'm laughing because what I'm about to share with you is going to sound so fucking crazy to you. It goes against everything that you have learned so far about reading oracle and tarot cards. So I guess I should explain to you why I am qualified to give you this information. So for those of you that aren't familiar with me, I'm a professional psychic medium, which means I give readings for a living. And I've been doing that for nearly a decade. And of course, before giving readings for a living, I was psychic, right? I just wasn't trading my skills for cash. But so I've been in this game a little while. Not only that, but the type of person that I am is investigative. And I'm very independent in terms of how I approach my practice. So that means that when I read a book about how to do things, or I Google, how to read cards or the best way to do things, I usually take all of the information that I learn and do the opposite. Or I question it. And through doing that, I've actually really deepened my psychic ability and my spiritual practice. And I found a lot of ways that are unique in how I do these things, but they work. And I'm about to fucking share them with you guys. All right. Hey, Dave. Dave, what's up with those gifts that you were sending me earlier? Okay. So when you read oracle and tarot card, guys, are you shuffling the cards? You need some cards. Shuffling the cards and asking a question, and then laying the cards out either randomly or in a spread, and then trying to discern what the answer is to your question based on the spread? Or is that how you're doing it? Because if you read any book, if you Google it, every single person on the planet probably, other than me, is going to tell you that that's how you do it. You form a question, you intend, you create a question in your mind, you ask the universe, you ask the cards, whatever, while you're shuffling. And then, oh, a card flies out, there's part of the answer. Or, you go ahead and lay it out, and then you read them looking for the answer to your question. And that, just doing that is actually what is interfering with your ability to get accurate answers from your cards. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, that I'm telling you that that's actually not the way to do it. I'm telling you that the way that the people that make the cards, the general consensus about how to read cards is actually keeping you from getting really accurate readings. And I'm going to share with you what you should be doing instead. And it's the way that I do it personally and professionally. If you've ever had a reading with me, I'm always like, let me check the card spread I have for you. I don't sit in our reading and pull cards. I already have one spread that I use, okay? That's done, that I refer to. And that's what I want you to do too. So instead of asking a question while you're shuffling and then laying the cards in a spread or flipping one card even for an answer, I want you to do this instead. I want you to have a clear mind, not thinking about anything in particular, not having any question really on your mind at all, not trying to focus on a question. You shuffle your cards, you lay your cards out in your spread, and then from that one spread that you have laid out with a blank mind, you ask or you look for answers to any question you could ever come up with from that one spread. Okay. Hey Les, welcome. So this is the way to do it. You're not asking questions and then answering them. You're creating the spread. You're laying out the card spread with no question in mind. Okay? It's on the table. And then you can get to asking questions. So you can check in with yourself. What do I want to know? You could ask your client, what do you want to know? And you can ask anything of that one spread. Why does this work? I'll tell you. Because when you're shuffling and asking a question and then throwing the card to get an answer to your question, what's happening is your subconscious mind, your ego self, your subconscious mind, has a preference of what they want the answer to be. You have a bias, okay, of what you want the answer to be. And this is true. Hey, Oliver. This is true whether you're reading for yourself or others. Even if you're reading for another person, you have bias within you that doesn't want the cards to say this or that. You have bias, okay? Everybody does. It's the way our minds work. If you're human, you have bias in there, okay? So you ask a question and flip the card, and you cannot read the card objectively. Your intuition has a hard time coming through cleanly because you have a bias. You're holding a bias of what you want the answer to be. Even if you don't realize you're doing it, you're doing it. Even if you think, I don't really care what the answer is, I don't mind getting bad news, or I don't mind delivering bad news or whatever, you do. And this can work the opposite way as well. If you have any hang-ups about your self-worth, then you're going to get a good card and read it negatively or diminish the positivity of it or the good news of it because you don't feel like you deserve it. And that is going to mar the accuracy of your interpretations of the cards. Okay? Hey, Tara. So when you lay out a card spread and then you ask a question, any question, the cards are down, man. A card played, or a card laid is a card played, right? The cards are down. Okay, so you can ask different questions. Will there be bias still? Absolutely. Absolutely there will be. But it's just more concrete, set in stone. Here's what's going on. Okay? And no matter how, this is the real great part of it. No matter how you ask your question or how many times you ask your question, you're looking at the same spread. The answer's there. You're not gonna get away from the answer that's staring at you right in front of your face. Because how many times, guys, have you had a question that you asked of your cards and you pulled the card and you're like, I don't really get it. Let me ask again. Hello, guilty, right? Totally guilty of doing that with my personal, reading for myself. Or, next thing you know, you've pulled 17 cards, keep asking the same question, and you're just more confused than ever. Why is that bad or dangerous? I actually think that's dangerous because it diminishes your confidence in your ability to connect with your intuition. And then you stop doing it and you think that intuition is something that isn't for you, or that it's a muscle that you have to exercise, or that it's just not strong enough. You start to diminish your intrinsic intuition and your capacity to connect with it anytime you want. So instead, guys, really try this and see how it goes. You could, if you wanted, you could write a list of questions that you plan to ask, but make sure there's a lot of questions, not just one or two, because the mind is going to interfere with that. And then you want to lay your cards out in a spread, and then go ahead and, like a dictionary, you want to refer to the spread to answer all of your questions. Again, to be clear, you're using one spread. You're not, let me do another spread. Oh, let me flip some more cards. Okay, oh, you have another question? Let me shuffle and flip. Okay? No, you're not doing that. That's so confusing. Also, can we just acknowledge that when you're paying someone hundreds of dollars for a reading and they're spending half the time shuffling cards, it's really irritating. Just from a professional standpoint. Like, guys, if you're a professional reader, do that stuff beforehand. If you're a professional reader, you read cards for money, or you read cards for other people, you can lay out the card spread, take a picture of it, okay, before your client even gets there, and then just pull up the picture and refer to it if you want. You could, what I do is I look at the clients that I have lined up for the day, and I do my spreads before I start work. I take pictures of all my spreads for each client, and then when the client joins me on Zoom, I pull up their spread, and that's what I read from. And I have my own ways of like what to look for and all the things, because I'm a professional and I have to, right? But that's what I'm doing. I do it beforehand. I'm not sitting there shuffling while you're looking at me like, right? The other thing you can do is lay out a spread for yourself on a Monday morning. Leave it out for the whole week. And then no matter what question you have all week, you look back to that one spread. Okay? It is so efficient. There's no way to get around the answer. Again, you will have some bias, but it's like you could ask the same question 6,000 ways and the cards aren't changing. So eventually, you know, the point's gonna come through loud and clear. Okay? And if you join my Be the Oracle card reading course that launches next month, I'm teaching people the exact spread that I use. I use one spread to answer all of my time-based predictions by month and answer life questions about life purpose, life path, questions about the year ahead, the week ahead, and then any yes, no, detail, more details, please question from one spread. And in my card course, I'm going to teach you the one spread I use that answers literally any question that you have, including giving you dates. Highly, highly, highly accurate. What do you guys think? Like, does that kind of blow your mind? So if you're asking a question, shuffling and laying, you're doing it. I don't want to say you're doing it wrong, because people are going to get really pissed if I say that. But you're not doing it in the best way you can be doing it. And if you're wanting accurate answers, which is I think why you're doing it in the first place, you want to learn a way that's actually going to give them to you. So I'll leave the registration details for my course. Early bird admission is still on till July 3rd, $100 Canadian. That's doubling after July 3rd. And that is going to be the cheapest it will ever be. And I will deliver this course again, but that's the cheapest because the information that I'm sharing is fucking mind blowing. And also you can use it to read for other people and make money for yourself if you like. If you have questions, let me know. I'd love to answer any questions about cards readings. If you have any comments about what I just said, let me know. Dave asks, how do you cure a spiritual malady? I'll cure that for you right now, Dave. So Dave, I want you to look at me. You with me? Hey, Dave. Dave. You don't have any spiritual maladies, Dave. Nobody does. There aren't any spiritual maladies. So there you go. Cured. They just don't exist. You're cured. Go have fun. Enjoy your day. Okay. Mudasir, I'm not really sure what you're asking. Sorry. Can you be spread? Are you asking me to show you the spread? I'll show you if you join my course. That's a trade secret that I'm only sharing for people that come to take the whole course, okay? Anybody else? Does anyone else read like this? Where you lay out a card spread without asking any questions or having any intention at all, and then ask your questions from that one spread? I'd love to know if you guys do that. I've never met anyone that does that, but I'm so curious to know. If you do, I don't know. If you're just joining me now, I've already gone over the bulk of what I talked about today, and I'd really highly encourage you to go back and watch this from the start, because I shared with you how the way that you're reading Oracle and Tarot cards by asking a question while you shuffle and then laying out a card spread for the answer to your question is actually getting in the way of you getting an accurate reading and what to do instead, how I do it instead. Jessica, definitely try it and let me know how it goes. You'll find the mind fights this, okay? So when you do one spread, Mudasir, no, you're fucking weird. I'll block you after. Sorry, I got distracted. Why? What's with the misogyny and grossness? Yeah, so the mind will fight you where you do one spread and then ask your questions of it. Your mind's going to be like, no, that doesn't fit. I don't see how that works. Wait, how does this and that? Your mind will fight you. Why? Because it has a bias. It wants a specific answer. Whether you realize it or not, when you do a reading, you have intrinsic bias that's going to crop up. And it's going to fight you and say, no, this doesn't work. But you have to try it and keep going. You're going to find it works. What I have learned in my journey, my spiritual journey, my human journey here, what I have learned, oh, sorry, I got distracted. What I've learned in my spiritual journey here is that practices that are complicated and hard to catch on to are bogus. So if they take a lot of effort and thought, if you have to do a lot to learn how to do it, it's bogus. It's mind stuff. It's ego stuff. Okay. The spiritual practices that are really ones that connect you to all that you are simple as fuck. They're the most obvious, simple answers. They're most obvious, simple practices. And that's why in my card course, I simplify how to read Oracle or Tarot cards. I really simplify it. And people are going to fight me because people get attached to rules and processes, and people get attached. The mind gets attached to things being complicated because you've been programmed by our society to think that if you have to work hard for something, then it's better and you're better, but it's not the truth. The more simple, the more easy, the more true. Okay. Jessica, I love your question, Jessica, or your comment saying that you have trouble because your kids distract you all the time. Girl, I get it. I'm a single mom and I give professional readings with my kid around, and I get interrupted during my professional readings that people pay me hundreds of dollars for. And my kid interrupts me, and that's just what happens. Okay. My advice to you is to stop trying to be both mom and develop your intuition. Instead, you just have to be both. So if your kids interrupt you, what's the problem? Who cares if they interrupt you? Like, I don't know. Cards are benign. It's not like you're holding a hot iron and they get burned or something, right? Like, it's just cards. Just put them down for a second, deal with your children, and then continue to lay them out. And the thing with this too, Jessica, and please come to my course, you'll learn this. The thing about this too is when you do one card spread that you're going to consult for any question you have, and you can do this for the year, for the week, for your lifetime, you do the one card spread, take a picture of it, and that's your card spread. You don't have to keep shuffling and laying them out every day. You can use the same spread for a year, guys. Okay? So, it doesn't take a lot of time or effort. You just have to do it once. There's no meditation involved. And this is coming from a certified yoga teacher. Okay, I meditate. You don't need to meditate to connect with your intuition. You don't need to meditate to connect with your cards. You don't need to be quiet. You don't need to be uninterrupted. You can read cards in the middle of a busy subway, rush hour downtown Toronto. Okay. And yeah, right, Jessica? It's so simple. The idea that it's sacred and like it's sacred, but you're a sacred being just the way you are. But the idea that it's something that should be held, like card reading should be held in reverence, is like a sacred practice that needs that, dedicated time and quiet and candles lit and culturally appropriated smudge and crystals and deep breathing and opening your third eye chakra. It's all bullshit, guys. Okay, please, I get so worked up about this. It's total bullshit. Please do not believe the hype. It's capitalist. Spiritual materialism is what I call it. Oh, I get so fired up about this because you are a spiritual being. And so you can be sitting and drinking your Tim Hortons coffee full of chemicals and stuff and still be highly psychic. And how do I know this? Because that's me. Me. I'm 41 and I'm really healthy. I'm probably the healthiest I've ever been in my life right now, mentally, emotionally, physically, all of it. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I eat well, all the things. But I wasn't always this way. I used to drink like a bottle of wine a night and smoke pot on top of that. I was a functional fucking, just abusing my body, all right? And I still was giving highly, highly accurate psychic readings. So you don't have to be anything to connect with your intuition. And all of these difficult rules and processes and steps to take and do things this way, and you have to meditate for 10 minutes, and you have to open your crown chakra, and you have to protect your energy. It stresses me out because it's a part of our capitalist patriarchal conditioning that just keeps us deferring our power outside of us. And girls, and boys, the power's within, and it always has been. Okay. I'm going to do some questions. Mudasir, let me just say this one more time. You can fuck right off. Okay. Hey, Rakia. Jessica, I guess the card that comes is meant to come no matter what's happening. Yes, exactly. And here's the other thing that I've noticed through giving. I counted the other day, and I've given, I think, like 10,000 readings at this point. So what I've learned is that people, more than asking like for predictions, you should look at cycles. You should look at like energies, because you are not separate. Like every part of your life is connected. And you are connected to every part of your life. Your body is connected to every part of your life. So what's happening in one part of your life is happening in another. There's never any separation. Okay? Thanks, Jess. I do not look, oh, whatever. Anyway. Now I've lost my frame of mind. Anyway, it's dead easy. You are a spiritual being. Own that. Okay, own it. Oh, yeah, Jessica, you were saying, I guess the card that comes up is meant to come up no matter what's happening. I love this point because, again, what's happening in one area of your life is definitely the energy you're carrying in other areas of your life as well. And that's why having one card spread that you can ask any question of works. Because there are themes, cycles, energies that are moving through you right now that are affecting all areas of your life. So one card can answer any question, okay? Or one spread. I have a spread that I use that I'm sure nobody else uses because I made it, and I'm going to teach it to everybody when you join my card course. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I'll leave the link for my card course. Again, early bird ends July 3rd. The course is $99 Canadian. Taxes in. So come one, come all. It's going to be an 8-week course run through a private Facebook group. Every week, I'm going to be coming on live for a workshop that teaches you how to read your cards, again, in a way you will not learn anywhere else. And it's simple as fuck, okay? And then I'm also going to be coming on every week to do live coaching calls, kind of like this, to answer questions, to troubleshoot. Not only that, I'm going to be jumping on the group every day just to check posts so you can post your cards, your questions. All right. If you can't come live, you have lifetime access to the replays and the group. That will never be offered again. The next time I run this course, you will have a specific amount of time you're allowed in the group, and then out you go. So get on this round and you'll be happy you did. If you have questions about cards, I want to hear them. What are your struggles reading tarot cards? What are your struggles with oracle cards? How do you struggle with your confidence with that? Let me help you. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Everybody but Muda Sarah.